Hi, Lori Ballen here with BallenVegas.com and Ballen Brands. And today's lesson is going to be for anyone that wants to rank like a boss with community pages. Now, today I'm going to focus very specifically on zip code pages because this is what I'm working on right now. So I was inspired to come show you the walkthrough step by step of how I build my zip code pages. Now, these zip code pages are hyperlocal pages that are all about a particular area. So, for example, here's one. So, 89129 is a zip code. So, I've got information about the area, and I'm going to show you where I get all that. And then I've got homes for them to look at. I actually have too many there. I'm going to change that grid. I'll talk about that when we get to IDX. Next, we have schools in the area. Oh, I never finished that page. Well, that explains that. This must have been my demo page before. And then here we have our areas, neighborhoods in the area. And then we have a real estate market report information. And so this is kind of the idea of what we want to see for our community pages, our zip code pages. So we're going to have information about the area. We're going to have homes in the area. We're going to have market data, average home prices, sales, that kind of thing, and schools and information like that. So don't get caught up in the fact that you may not have multiple zip codes. Don't rule out this video because you don't have zip codes in your area. This can be done for a school page, homes around a particular school, an area of town, north, east, west, south, a community, an area that you guys call by something. There's all kinds of hyper local pages that you could build. So this format could be ideal for you. Now, let me tell you why I picked zip codes. If I go over here to my favorite SEO tool for tracking and reporting website health and keyword rankings and that kind of things, SEMrush, what I can do is I go up here into the search bar and I type in the keyword phrase, and in my case, zip code. Now watch what happens when we scroll down here and we look at zip codes. Okay, what we can see is the keyword phrase, the search volume, how many people a month are searching that keyword phrase, the keyword difficulty, how hard it would be to rank for that keyword term organically, how much people are spending per click on that keyword, and what the advertising competition is. Okay, now look what happens as we start scrolling down here. Some of these big areas: Los Angeles zip code, 33,100 people a month. So if I were a real estate agent in Los Angeles, I would totally want to be ranking for Los Angeles zip code. How hard that's going to be? Well, it's going to be pretty hard. So you're going to have a good website and have some good search visibility and authority and that type of thing, but it can be done. San Francisco is another big one. So obviously these areas in California, Chicago, Las Vegas. So I'm number 4 out of those cities because I'm in Las Vegas with Lori Ballen team. Then we have New York, San Diego, Seattle, Atlanta, Dallas, Miami. So as you can see, San Antonio, zip codes are absolutely huge. Now, another aha I had is I was using this same tool and I was looking at the gap analysis tool and I put my competitors' websites in there with mine. Now, I have the number 2 as of today, in early 2018. I have the number 1 website for total keywords ranking on Google. But then I'm the number 2 website for traffic, local websites, traffic earners, organic traffic earners, which means non-paid, earned in search engine rankings. So I'm number 2. Well, that's very frustrating for me because I want to be number 1. And so when I was looking at the gap analysis with the number 1 website, our biggest difference was zip codes. So I went after the strategy that I'm applying for this year, which is zip codes. And so I'm on my real estate website, my main focus on building all my content this year is on zip codes, everything I can build around zip codes. So what I started doing was just build, if we go here to my homes for sale page, I'm on my Ballen real estate agent website. So my company builds these, and I go down here, zip codes. And I'm going to look at the city of Las Vegas zip codes. We have a few cities here, Las Vegas, Henderson, and North Las Vegas, and we serve them all, but I'm just going to focus on this. And then what I did is I broke all my zip codes down into areas of town, the Southwest, Northwest, North, East, and I've got the zip codes, and I've started building in the communities, and this is the strategy here. And as soon as I did this, my zip codes started moving up. I typically rank on page 1 of Google for a lot of the long tail keyword phrases around zip codes, like if somebody were to search for something like single story home in 89135 under 300,000. You know, those really long tail, super focused, super niched keyword phrases. But I want to rank for those head terms, just for the zip code by itself, and for a Las Vegas zip code, Las Vegas zip codes, Las Vegas zip code map, which I'm typically ranking like number 12, so top of page 2 now. But I didn't even get to top page 2 until I built this page. And so today, what I'm going to show you is how we're building off the smaller pages that are going to drive SEO up to this parent page. So this is the main page that I want to rank for Las Vegas zip codes, and I'm working on a property map for this section here, which is coming soon, okay? And what I do is I build out each one of these smaller zip codes. So, right, I started with the Northwest, that's what I'm working on right now, and I made a list of all of the zip codes that are in Northwest Las Vegas. And of course, I've got a page here that's all about Northwest Las Vegas. So I've got the parent page, which is zip codes. That's the hierarchy. It is a page on my website. Technically, the parent page is locations. Under that is Las Vegas. Under that is zip codes. And then each one of these under that is Northwest, the areas. And then each one of these zip codes is a child page of Northwest. Well, when you build a hierarchy like that, when you have good ranking pages and they link back up to parent pages, there's some link equity there that flows to those other pages, help building them up. And on every page on my website, I have the Las Vegas zip code link, and everything pushes back up to that Las Vegas zip code page, which is helping it rank. Now, these smaller pages also rank on their own, which is what I want. So for those that are more technical, I'm not adding a canonical tag to my or an attribute to the smaller pages, because I want them to rank on their own and it's not duplicate content. So each one stands alone and then pushes up the SEO to the parent page. So I'm not just simply duplicating each one of the smaller ones onto the bigger one. There's some unique content there, okay? All right. So I've already built out a bunch, and today we're going to work on let's see, I really need to update this one for 89129, but I think we're going to build an 89134 just so that I can show you one that I haven't done much on. Okay, so on my 89134 page here, I've already started it, so I'm going to show you how that works. I've got a basic intro, but we're going to go in and add some more to that. And then I've got a grid of homes, and I'm actually going to make that smaller. We'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, so I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to edit this. Now, if you have a Ballen real estate website, you're going to build this on a showcase page. If you have a regular WordPress, you're just going to build this on a regular page. So you're not going to have some of the features that I have on your WordPress if you're just using a general WordPress website or you have a different theme or different provider. But don't let that stop you from still using the concepts of what I teach here. If you're on a non-WordPress website, use the concepts. Listen to why I'm creating what I'm creating, and then figure out how to do it on your own platform. Okay? I love the websites that I built. My brew is built completely around my own need and demand and pain points of building these real estate websites and having, finding things I wish my website would do. That's how we've built these. I give my developers a wish list and say, here's what I want it to do now. Here's what I want it to do now. and we're continuously building those onto our website. So if you're interested in one of these brews, give us a call at Ballen Brands. But otherwise, just follow along with me. So I'm going to show you how to do this on the showcase page, and then I'll show you kind of like on a straight page. So let me open a new page here. So this will be like a straight WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get, nothing fancy, no blocks or no anything else. Okay, so I'll kind of explain the differences too as I'm going along so that you understand. Just about everything that I have on my brew, you can do if you have an unlimited WordPress, like it's not locked up. But you'll have to use like short codes and some other things to actually do them, which I'm going to kind of walk you through some of that. Okay. All right. So first thing, let me just open this back up so we can see the preview of it. First thing you'll notice here is these tables, these category boxes up here, these link boxes, whatever you want to call those, pricing tables. They're not always prices though. This is created dynamically, which means automatically on the brew site based on the page hierarchy and on your category boxes. So what happens is each time I build a page here now, I'm under 89134, and I've got homes for sale under 300. I have 2 homes for sale under 300. Well, I'm glad I pulled this one open today. We need to fix one of those. So if I were to do homes for sale under 4, homes for sale under 5, homes for sale under 6, those are going to show up here automatically as I build those pages, okay? Because what we have here is I just tell this little category box right here what link box I'm working under, which I'm in a zip code section here now. And then whatever parent page I put it under is how that table is functions. I'm not teaching you how to do the table today. I have another video. Go back and watch the other video on how to create the link boxes and categories. Now, if you want something like that and you don't have something that dynamically creates these, you can manually create them using tables. And there's a plugin, a WordPress plugin called Table Press that'll allow you to go on and manually build these tables. So it's a lot more work, but that's what I was using before we built our brew with Table Press. And mobile responsive, but keep it under 3 columns. Don't put longer than 3 columns or it tends to not respond correctly. And then they have to turn their phone sideways and all that stuff. I don't like to mess with that. So if you're doing Table Press, keep it at 3 columns. But you can build those manually. Yes, I do have a lesson on how to use Table Press. So just go back in and do a search for that. I do have it. Okay. Now, next on the list you see here is the intro. So let's go look at that. So with a brew, we're using content boxes or content blocks. And these little content blocks have different functionality. So I'm able to add a general content block, a table of contents, a 2-column content block, a 3-column, an IDX broker widget. I can embed a Google map, a YouTube video, and that keeps it correctly the width of the page, or I can add a horizontal divider. You're going to see these come into play here in a moment as we work on these. So the major difference, if you're just on a straight WordPress or you're using a straight WYSIWYG, what you see is what you get editor. You're not going to see any of these content blocks. You'll just paste them in as you go down here. The content blocks I added because they keep the page cleaner. They're easier for me to keep. When I create content, I tend to create very messy with alignment and all that, and these content blocks help me keep it all cleaner and look much, much better. I mean, gosh, we have really, really grown over the years with a quality user experience and nice, clean content, okay? So the first thing I added here was a general content block, and what you can see here is this is our intro. See, 89134 is a zip code. Here it is in real life. 89134 is a zip code. So all you would do is if you were building on a straight WYSIWYG, you're just going to build your intro here. You're not going to have the content blocks, okay? So don't get caught up in the content blocks. You just build straight like that, okay? Unless you have some sort of drag and drop content blocks. All right. Now, get rid of this. Okay. Now, let me show you something. What I've got here is it says 89134 is a Las Vegas zip code in the northwest area of the valley. Okay, I like to start off my zip code intros with something like that. This is the zip code we're covering. I want to include the keyword phrase Las Vegas zip code and the area of town, because those are the search engine focuses that I'm working on. Okay. Now, internal linking is when we hover over a keyword phrase and we link to another page on our website that we believe the user might also find valuable. In doing this, we're sending signals to Google that says this page is also related to this page. And not unlike just having a regular sitemap where Google, if your hierarchy is good and Google can see the relation between your parent pages and child pages, it understands that these child pages are related to that parent page or subpage. And in these internal linkings are another way to send those signals to Google that these pages are related. So it's a really good practice to do this. Now, keep in mind that whenever you link to another page or another website, whether it's on your own page or it's an external website, somebody else's website, and you're linking off, part of your ranking power of this page flows out to the receiving page. So there's a certain amount of link juice, let's just say each page has, and when you link out, you're sharing some of that with the receiving page. So in some cases, you might just say, you know what, I've got this great ranking page and it would benefit this other page if the only link on this page were to link over here. I'm going to pass all of that link equity to this page. That's fine. That's fine to keep it limited. My experience shows that including more internal links is a better quality user experience. If that person is not finding everything they want on the page, but they want to go somewhere else, this reduces bounce rates, encourages clicks, encourages time on site, and it's really a positive SEO practice to do these links. So 89134, now my case is a Las Vegas zip code. I want to link to my zip code page. So I'm going to click on this little link and I'm going to put Las Vegas zip codes. What I'm doing is I'm typing in a keyword. I know I have another page on my website already. And this little keyword scanning my own website for pages that are related to this phrase, okay? So I want to find my page. It's on Las Vegas zip codes, and here it is right here. So I'm just going to click it in there. I'm going to click that little blue arrow, and now that link is a live link, okay? Also, northwest area of the valley. I really, really want to rank for northwest, southwest, east, the areas of town. So that's a benefit. Plus, if this person they found this page by mistake, maybe they were doing some sort of search and they're looking in areas of Northwest, by including a link here, they can click now right to my page that's all about homes in Northwest Las Vegas. Okay. Now, it's home to places like the Summerlin community. So there again, I want to link to Summerlin, but I can never find that page, so I'm just going to grab it real quick. This is another way actually to include an internal link. You can also paste it in. So watch, we're going to do that here. I'm going to go to my communities, and I'm going to find Summerlin. These are all of our master plan communities here in Las Vegas. I'm going to paste this URL, copy it. I'm going to go back to what we were doing, and I'm going to paste it right here in this. Oops. That's our demo page. There we go. And I'm just going to paste that right here. Okay. Now, if I don't know much about the area, a great way to discover what's in this area is by going to a Google map. Actually, you just go to Google and type in 89134. I'm going to type in that area. Now, the map might pop up here automatically. If it doesn't, click over here on Maps. You can also type in 89134 map to see what comes up, okay? Now, I like to use Google Maps for this because what happens is a couple things. One, I can see the borders of that zip code. Now, depending on what your area is, you may or may not have this, but I have this, so I love to use it. So I'm going to put this in here real quick. I'm going to cover the area. I'm going to say the borders borders of the 89134 zip code are, and I'm going to look over here and I'm going to say, okay, West Cheyenne to the Summerlin Parkway. And the Bruce Woodbury Beltway, that's called the 215 to North Rampart. And 215 Bruce Woodbury Beltway. To North Rampart. Okay, now I'm also going to look in here and I'm going to start to zoom in a little bit, and you'll start to see other things pop up on the map. So we have Highland Falls Golf Club. So if they're mentioned, they might be worth mentioning on your blog, and that can help you rank as well for places within the map. So Highland Falls Golf Club. So I'm going to come over here. Also in 89134 is the Highlands, what did I just call that? Highland Falls Okay. Okay, Sun City, Summerlin. Did I mention that? No. That's okay. You know what? We're going to do neighborhoods down below, so I'm not going to mention those up here. If I'm doing a zip code that doesn't have a lot of, it's a smaller zip code, it doesn't have a lot of stuff going on, doesn't have a lot of specialty neighborhoods or businesses, I might just put it all in the intro. But if I know this is a big area for communities, I might put it in the bottom. But actually, now that I'm saying it, it's not. It's Sun City and Summerlin are the only two big neighborhoods here. I can see them listed here. So I'm going to go ahead and put that up top. Popular master plan communities here are the 55 plus golf course community known as Sun City and the Summerlin. Actually, this is mostly Summerlin North, I believe. Let me look at something here. Well, we'll come back to that in a second. Okay, so let me use my internal linking now. Okay, that says no comma. That little pop-up you're seeing here, this is Grammarly, Grammarly, and it helps me with spelling. It's funny, I was a spelling bee champion in elementary school, and suddenly I grew up and social media hit, and now I can't spell to save my life. I don't know what that's all about. I moved too fast, so typos are frequent, so I've got to use the little helps. Okay, so we have 55 plus golf course community known as Sun City Summerlin. So I'm going to click that link and I'm going to type in Sun City Summerlin. Now, if you're new to this and you don't already have all these pages, what you need to be doing now is making yourself a list of other pages you need to build. Okay? And be careful because it's hard to build up. You can't build up. You can only build down when you're talking about a hierarchy on WordPress. So you want to build your parent pages first, or at least have placeholders for them, and then have your child pages. So in my case, parent pages locations. And under locations, I have Henderson, Las Vegas, North Las Vegas, right? Or, yeah, those are my cities, basically. Those locations. Yours could be cities or counties or whatever. And then I have under that, I have Las Vegas is the parent page. Remember, I just said all this. And then under Las Vegas is the zip code page. And then under the zip code page is my 89134. Well, if you just build 89134 and I put it directly under locations, I'm going to be missing a page in the middle, which is my Las Vegas, and missing zip codes. So there's nothing to push up to. So it's a good idea to sit down and kind of draw out a little map of what your top tier pages are going to be and then what the bottom ones are going to be. Okay. And then you've got pages, obviously, that are parallel to each other. So under Las Vegas, I have the child page zip codes. But then separately, parallel to that, I also have a child page called schools. And I have pages called areas, right? So those are kind of standalone. They're kind of built sideways instead of top to bottom. And they're not directly related to each other when they're built sideways like that. They're not necessarily directly related to each other. Okay. So now that's how you use the map to find more stuff. And oh, Palm Valley Golf Course. Hold on, there's another one. Also in 89134 are many golf courses such as, in fact, I'll get rid of this up here, because that's another golf course. So hold on. As well as, okay. Also in 89134 are many golf courses such as Highland Falls Golf Course, TPC, and Palm Valley Golf Course. Okay. And I'm going to link to my golf courses page because I have a page that's all about golf courses. And if I didn't, I would stop and make myself a note. And I'll show you an easy way to do that. Homes with a golf course. Homes with a view. Hold on. There we go. Las Vegas homes on the golf course. Apple reminders. If you have a Mac, these little reminders. Otherwise, you can use notes or however, whatever little note, whatever list you have. I create these little lists. And then as I come across something that I want to build a page for, I just go in here and add it to my list. Oops. Yeah. Oh, I still have a lot to do. I find to-do lists very overwhelming. And I've renamed them to-done lists because you should never leave anything very long on your to-do list. I with my to-do list, if my to-do list gets too long, it needs to be to-done by somebody else. I've got to leverage out because that means I've got too much on my plate, unless I'm making a plan for the whole year. But this content creation little list is really cool for these types of things. If you're creating a blog post, it should inspire you to create 3 more blog posts because you realize other things you could be linking to that you don't have, right? And so these kind of pages are the same way. All right, so going back to the map, let me see what else. So I'm going to scroll in a little bit bigger here, and we're going to see more things. So now we have parks. So there's Hills Park. And I'm going to look and see if there's anything else popping out at me here. Okay. Oh, okay. Tivoli Village. The post office is okay. The post office and Summerlin Library are also in this area. And add Hills Park. I actually think I have a blog post on that. Let me see. Okay, so now this gives me the opportunity to see if I'm missing pages. So Hills Park. Okay, I don't. So I'm going to go down here and I'm going to add myself a content reminder to make a page on Hills Park. And then how about, I know I have Queens Ridge. Now, not everything requires a link, only if you believe that person might want to find out more information or you want to tell Google that these are somehow related. Like I may or may not need to do a blog post on the Suncoast Hotel and Casino, Tivoli Village Shopping Center, although I really should. Tivoli. I think I have one on Tivoli. Let me see. Well, I'll be darned. Not really. I have one on shopping malls in general. Okay. Now, some of these I will do myself, and some of these I'll leverage out. So kind of one of the things that I'm always doing is my marketing company, Ballen Brands, does write content. And in addition to if I use my own marketing company, my real estate company pays them. If I use my own marketing company, the pages come in already optimized. They already have all the links. They already have all the images. They're completely done, and I'm paying extra for that service. I also use ghostwriters, and I'll do all the optimization. So I'll just, if it's a really a content piece that doesn't require super fancy writing, something like writing about Tivoli Village, the mall, I just kind of want to talk about where it is, what it is, who built it, when it was built, how's the parking, what kind of places are in there, what's the feel, vibe, flavor, that kind of thing. I might just use a ghostwriter for that and pay a few cents a word rather than using the marketing company and having the piece all completed. Now, if I didn't know how to do all my own optimization, obviously I do, that's why I built a marketing company, then I would probably hire it all out through there. But in this case, so either way, a piece like Tivoli Village, I may not write that blog post. I probably won't. I'll probably hire that out, just as an FYI. So I always have content being written, and then when I get that piece back and I'm done with it, I order the next one. I get that piece back, done with it, I order the next one. So I always have this ongoing fresh content approach to blogging on my real estate website, in addition to building out all of these pages. And that's very, very important. Now, blogging, I have other lessons on. It has to be done a certain way to have any chance of ranking now in this decade, in this era. And then making a video out of it is another side thing. So that's another lesson. All right, so anything else in this area? You would look at the map, and the more you zoom in, the more things pop up. Here's an academy, here's schools. Here's a cool little trick. I don't know if you've ever seen this before. If I wanted to, I could go up here and add the word schools to this and watch what happens. So now I have all the schools. The problem is some of these are outside of 89134 border, it looks like. Oh no, that's within the border. Nope. We said to Rampart, so that's just on the other side of the border. So we lost our 89134 border around it. So there's a couple schools that are laying over there, but you get the general area. Or if I wanted to do parks or golf courses, I could type it in like this, and it'll change what pops up there. So if you're looking for anything particular there, but you lost your zip code border. Okay, so Eagle Crest Golf Course, ones I didn't mention, huh? So I caught that. Let's go back. TPC, Eagle Crest, and Palm Valley Golf Course. Okay. Now this is a great trick that I'm showing you right now. If you don't want to create all your own content, you want to hire this out, give them this video. You could have a virtual assistant or an assistant or somebody do exactly what I'm showing you. They don't even have to live in Las Vegas. They just use the map and refer to what's there. Now they may not know what to point out. That's the only drawback. They may be pointing out so-and-so's tire shop. But if you train them well and say, these are the kind of things I'm looking for, parks, I'm looking for golf courses, I'm looking for major shopping malls, kind of give them a general list of what to point out. In my case, casinos, because I'm in Vegas. And yes, we have casinos even up here in Summerlin where I live. They're not just down on the strip, so we point them out. Okay. Now, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and now give them, I don't want to put too much in this intro. The reason being is, watch what happens. Let me go ahead and update this. Now watch what happens to our text here. Okay, see there's our links. Anything like that that's colored is a link. Now let's see what this looks like on mobile. Ignore what's in my background there. You'll get sidetracked going, ooh, what is that? If I shrink this down like this, you'll get an idea of what this looks like on mobile. Okay, so we hop onto our mobile phone, and I've got my search widget, which, by the way, gets about 75% of the clicks on the website. Incredible, incredible feature right there. And then they can start browsing around by price. This is another place that gets a lot of clicks. But then look what happens to our text. See how it gets chunky and starts to stack? Well, that's about as much as I want, because as soon as that person starts to have to scroll, we risk losing them. So I don't want to put too much text at the top before I get them to what they want, and they might just want to look at houses. Okay. Now, another thing I want to show you, and this is why I said I have too many houses here. We're going to go change this right now. Here is another opportunity to lose them, is when they start scrolling. Okay, because we're going to put a lot of other information on the page. We're going to put information about market data. We're going to put school information. We're going to put information about the real estate in the area. And we want to let them go to other places. And I'm going to include a table of contents to help with that too in a minute. But I don't want to put too many houses here because there's too much scroll. Instead, I want to put less houses and give them this option to click through to more. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to my IDX broker, and I am going to find the little widget that I created that made that grid of homes. And it's Summer, oh, it's 89134. 89134. And I need, should be this one. So let me edit this, and I'm going to change this. I'm going to go to widget options. I'm going to say, instead of 15 houses, I want you to put 6, and then view all results. Now let's go see if it changed. Reload the page. And yes, I have a whole nother lesson on how to build those IDX widgets. So we're not going to cover that in this video because we've already done that. Okay. There it is. So now there's only 6 houses. Much better. Okay. Next. How I put in that IDX grid of houses is I pasted a JavaScript code right here that IDX broker gave me. So if I go back to this 89134 widget that I created, and I click on view code, there's a little source code here. And all I got to do is take that JavaScript and paste it, but it goes into the code side. So if you're using a brew site, you can just drop in the IDX broker showcase widget and you paste it right here, and you don't have to think about it. If you're using a regular WordPress instead, or a regular anything that takes your IDX that gives you a WYSIWYG editor like this, click over to text, and you just go down underneath there and you click paste. And now if we preview this, you'll see what it looks like. So it works the same way. You just don't have the content blocks helping you. You're just going to paste everything right underneath everything. See how that looks? So you can still do it. Okay. Next, I forgot my table of contents. I want my table of contents to go right here underneath this script. So I'm gonna paste add layout, and I'm gonna paste a table of contents. Okay. Now we're gonna come back to the table of contents in a minute because I have to put enough things underneath it for you to see how it works. Okay. So now for them to shop homes, I'm gonna keep my heading title short, 8913. See homes. Okay. I will tell you this. The table of contents on the brew dynamically creates a table of contents based on these titles, the titles of the content blocks. Okay. If you don't want that item to show up in your table of contents, just click no, and it won't show up there. If you're using a regular WordPress, you're going to insert a short code, and you're going to insert a you're going to use table of contents plus. So table of contents plus, I think I have mine deactivated now. And you're going to be able to put in, oh, here it is. No, that's table press. You're going to be able to put in like the words TOC. Let me see if that works. Oh, I don't have an H2 tags. Anyway, you're going to be able to put in a little short code there, and it'll create a table of contents as well. And if you're using table of contents plus, go watch my video on how to build that. I have a whole lesson on that. If you're using that, your table of contents will be created out of all your H2 headings or your H3 heading tags, however you set it up. in my case, I set up my table of contents to create a table of contents only out of my H2 heading, my headings, H2 tags. And it works like this. So each section of my article here, I would put like C homes. And I'm going to highlight this, and I'm going to make this an H2, heading 2. And then move our table of contents up down to here. And then under here, I would put the real estate market. We're going to put information about that. And I would put H2. And then underneath that, I would put schools. See how that works? Now, I don't know if I have this activated. Let's take a look. Oh, it is. And so see, it creates a table of contents for you. Oh, nope, that's my, sorry, that is my brew doing that. But you can do the same thing with table of contents plus, okay? So that's just so that you know you're able to create this. You have to do it manually. That's the only difference is you have to go in and put this in here, put the code in manually, and then everything else is automatic after that. Again, I built my brew off of things I was doing every day on my regular WordPress using a bunch of different short codes, and the brew just makes it easy and pulls it all in there for me. That's the major difference. So as you can see, so far we've been able to do everything with a straight WYSIWYG as we can with the brew. It just is less convenient. It's more manual than automated, okay? All right, now let me get rid of this. The next thing we want to do is let's do our schools. Wait, let me think. Yeah, let's do our schools. So now I'm going to do, first I'm going to put in a horizontal divider. What this horizontal divider does is it creates these nice clean little lines between each section that kind of switches focus, and it has a nice little back to the top link, and the user can click on back to the top and it'll shoot them straight back up to the top of the page. And this is an excellent add-on to improve user experience, especially on mobile. And I will show you that when we get to it, when I preview the page next, okay? If you want to create a horizontal divider on your regular WordPress, install Shortcodes Ultimate. And yes, I have a lesson plan on Shortcodes Ultimate. Install Shortcodes Ultimate. And all you got to do now is go here, go to Insert Shortcode, Divider. Design your divider however you want. You can do line breaks and different colors and dashed lines and larger and bigger or whatever. And then you just insert shortcode. And it's right there. And you'll be able to do that in between each section. Actually, you can just copy this code now. You don't even have to go back into Ultimate Shortcodes if you know what the shortcode is. Okay? Got it? So let me preview and you kind of get an idea of this one now. So there's your homes. There's your line breaks. But these will show up in between, or your lines. These will show up in between these chunks, okay? And you can go back to the top. On the brew, they're going to be colored automatically to match your theme. On Ultimate Shortcodes, you go in and pick your color. And then you can set it and forget it after that. All right, so next we're going to do our schools. Now this can be a little bit tricky. What we're going to do is I am going to add a content block, and I'm going to add a 3-column content block. And on, I have not found an easy way to do this on a straight WordPress to build the schools this clean. There are column widgets that you can use. There's a 3-column widget in Ultimate Shortcodes. It looks like this. Go to Insert Shortcode, and where's it at? Columns. Columns. But it's a lot harder to use. It's a lot clunkier, and you've got to go in and put some code in there to make sure your links are working right. So the brew definitely makes this part a lot easier. And so up here in my table of contents, I want to make sure that schools is going to be listed. And then I find the easiest way to do the schools is to copy and paste what I've already done and then made changes. So I go back over to a zip code page I already created. Oh, we did 89129. Where's it at? Right here. I'll go into the schools that I already created, and so you can see the outcome. It looks like this. I am actually taking off the bullet points now. I'll show you that in a second. I like it better without them. So I'll go over and paste elementary school here. Make sure it's in the visual tab. And then I'll go grab the middle school. And then I'll go grab, and remember, I'm copying from my own website. I'm just, this way I don't have to lay out the design again. And then I'm going to get rid of these bullet points because I don't like them. There we go. I liked them in the beginning. I just changed my mind. Aesthetically, there's no real reason. It was just, I decided when I was laying it out, I liked it better, especially when the schools get a lot of schools. Okay, now what I do is I'll go in here and I'll go ahead and delete one of those schools. Now I need to change the schools to match that zip code. So I go over to my MLS and I'm going to, I've already got a favorite search set up here that already has my school columns in it and some of my other things that I want. I got to go to criteria and I'm going to change this to be the 89134 zip code. I'll tell you, it is amazing what the MLS actually has for tools if we would use them. All of ours are different, of course, but it's pretty amazing when you start playing around in there what you can actually use. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is go over to my elementary school column and I'm going to sort this. Oops, I'm sorry, I need to go put in only solds. I have too many results. Okay, try this again. Okay, sort by lowest to highest. Alphabetically, I mean. Okay, now in my market in Vegas, we don't have multiple school districts. We have one school district. It's called Clark County School District. Within Clark County School District are school zones. So each of our homes are zoned for a particular school. That makes it nice and easy and clean for us to find which schools are in an area. But it's still up to the real estate agent to choose. There has to be something put in there, but sometimes they choose wrong, and we'll see some scattered schools in a bunch like that every now and then. And I'm not going to include those on my list unless I went in and verified those, because I'm going to guess they're either errors or they're real outliers. And there's not enough in that zip code that are zoned for that school, so I'm not going to worry about mentioning it. And in fact, here you can tell there's a mistake because these four are all in Almirante at Summerlin, and this one is listed, it looks like, incorrectly. And so I'm just going to go right down to where I see a big bunch of the same schools. So this one, William Lummis. Now our schools, I do not know the correct name of every school, and our MLS is using codes. Well, I don't want to put codes on the list. I want to put the name of the school, because if the person were searching for homes near a particular school zone, they're not going to use an MLS code. They're going to use the actual name of the school. So what I do is I just take what I have here and I go over to Google and I type in, you can see it said Lummis William, and then I'll hit enter. And if nothing came up correctly, I would put elementary school right here, or Google will suggest what it thinks I want. And of course, I'm logged in right now and Google knows I search for elementary school, so it's returning this result quite easily to me. You may have to search a little bit differently. So I'm going to highlight this so I have the correct name, and I'm going to go back over to my page, and I'm going to paste in, I'm going to, oops, let me edit out that old school. It's not, there we go. Okay, paste that in. Okay, now I'll go down to the next one and do the same thing. What's after William Lummis do we have? This particular zip code is mostly around one or two schools, where elementary schools. In some of my zip codes, I've got a dozen schools in that zip code. You can also export the list, whatever's easier. Okay, Ethel Stanton is the other one. So Stanton, Ethel. See, and you can see how it starts to suggest already. So you could do that. Stanton Elementary School. Statin, and I'll paste that there. Now, for the sake of time, I'm not going to do any more at the schools today. I'm going to come back and edit those after the video. But what I want to do now is I want to highlight that, and I want to link it to another page on my website where I've already built homes for sale near William Lummis Elementary School. So I'm going to do that with each one. So again, now if you didn't have these schools built, you go down to your content calendar, put it on your list. or you go order the content or whatever, however you're doing that within your team. Send a message to somebody, whatever. Okay. All right. Now we're going to add a horizontal divider again, and I'm going to start the next section. So now I want to talk about the real estate in the area. Okay. Sometimes I'll put this in the intro, but when I have a long intro already, I don't like it all to be in the intro. I'll go down and make another content block for this. Okay. And so here I'm going to put information about the area. So what I do is I go back to my MLS. This is where I get the info from. And the first thing I'm going to look at is, when was this area built? So I go over here and I look at year built dates of all of these homes that are for sale or sold. Now, if you don't have a lot of recent sales or sold in a community, you'll have to go to your tax records or whatever to find where built. For me, this is super easy. It works great here. Vegas moves so much. We have so much movement that it's rare that I can't find what I need from on the MLS for this. Okay, so 1988. So here I'm going to put this area began building in 1988. And then I'm going to hit the 1988 and scroll the other way so I can see when the most recent homes were. Okay, so we stopped building, it looks like, in 2008. Now, here's how I can verify this really quick. Let's see if I want to find out if there's any new construction in this zip code. Vegas has we are a massive new construction community. We have way more new than we do old. And so for us, it's important to describe whether an area has new construction or doesn't, because somebody might want to live in a classic Vegas style home with more land, or they like that mid-century modern look. They got to go classic Vegas and find something built before the 80s, possibly before the 70s. And then if they want new construction, a lot of people say, I don't want anything older than 2000. Well, they might want a community that's known to be mostly new. And so this helps them find out that information. So I could just go over here to my IDX broker again, and I'm just going to go down to, like I'm creating a brand new widget, a brand new grid of homes. And I'm going to say, give me a showcase list, which is one of those grids of... Now, we're going to look for new homes in this particular zip code. So I'm going to do 89134, and I'm going to scroll down and look at my MLS fields and say, show me only new construction. Then I'm going to click View Results in a new window. There isn't any. So it looks like 89134 was built completely by 2008. It looks like most of it was done building in the early 2000s. So in fact, I will say, and finished most new home builds in the early 2000s, although there were a few built later. Okay. Most of the okay. All right, now I'll go back over and say, what else do I want to know? Okay, I do know that this area is in a master plan community, so I'm going to spell this out because I live here, so this part I do know. This area is referred to as Summerlin and is part of a master home owners association. There are also sub-associations in some of the communities. Okay, that's important for people to know. Summerlin is not a city, yet has about 100,000 residents spanning the west side of the valley. This area is north. Okay. Now I want to look at the builders. So I'm going to click on builders. Again, in Vegas, being such a new home mecca here, people also know builders, and they will oftentimes search for homes by a particular builder, especially if they want features like next generation homes or casitas or special things that certain builders built. Okay, so here again, builders are not required on our MLS, so we don't see them very often. So when I do see a bunch of them, then I know that's one to mention. So over here, I'm going to put the most popular builder in the area was Del Webb, who created, was Del Webb, as Sun City, Summerlin is a large neighborhood here, built by Del Webb. Okay, now let me see if there's anybody else that jumps out. Custom Homes, Christopher Homes, Christopher Homes was also building during the early years. Let me double check that. What year was Christopher? 90s. During the 90s. And there are a selection of custom homes. Okay, so again, your focus is the user, the person reading this. If they're thinking about moving to your area, to this area, what do they want to know about it? Okay. Now, I also want to know how many homes are here. So I've got this little, I'm working on an integration right now. Don't hold me to it, but let's keep our fingers crossed. I'm working with a company right now that has an API that would allow us to integrate demographic information about a particular area. They already have it, but I don't like the way it integrates with the website. It's just putting them in iframes, and I want something more that I can control and manipulate a little bit, plus that is SEO friendly. So we're working on something now, but I don't have it yet. So I have this little quick links. I'm going to go over here to home facts, and I'm going to type in 89134. And if they have it, I'll get some information about an area. Does this say 89134? I don't think this is 89. Oh yeah, it says 89134. Okay, so it's telling me the total population is 24,000 people as of the 2010 census. So I could put something like the 2010 census reported 24,000 people in this zip code. Okay. I also, if I don't want to say the 2010 census, I could just put reports show approximately 24,000 people in this area. And if you wanted to link to that source, you can. If I'm taking any direct quote or context, whatever, I'll always link back to the source. This is just one of the places that I look at for the source you can go straight to the census reports as well. The other thing I want to look at is how many homes are in the area. And sometimes they'll say how many buildings. So I avoid unless it's automatically populated, I avoid anything that has to do with race or familial status. But at this one, here we go. Total households, 23,848. People in this zip code, covering around 23,000 households living in. So then they can do the math and figure out what's the per person average of people living in that area. Okay, so they might want to know that. Income is another thing that you could list that to my knowledge, check with your broker, check with your state, there's no protected class around income, but there is around race, sex, familial status, age related to the older ages, and so I'm going to be careful about any of that. But if I wanted to put in here the average incomes, I could do that as well. And then I'm going to let the people do their own digging. It is, we have to be very careful about steering towards or away from a neighborhood ever, and say, putting anything in that could be fair housing violations. But having a populated tool that has all that, I'm not opposed to. So I just want to, but I want the sorts to come from the source, not from me, since I don't know what those are. So I'm going to go ahead and link to this, since this is the source I used today. 2010 census reported. I'm just going to do that. Reported. Remember, every time you link out, you share some of your linking power with that website that's receiving it. So make sure you want to do that. It is a positive signal, though, to Google to link it to external websites as well, because you're providing a quality experience. That person may want to read this whole report now. And the nice thing is now they can click through and read everything else that they want to know that I don't want to provide them. And they can dig deeper, or what's important to them that might not be important to somebody else, like total housing units. They might want to see which ones are vacant. What's the rental occupancy? These are great stats for an investor, for somebody who wants information. So they might want to dig deeper into this report. And again, hopefully soon I'll have all that myself integrated onto these Brew websites. Coming soon. We are working on it as we speak, okay? Okay, so that's the area there. Now, let's go ahead and put in our average, put in our market data. So now what I do is I go back over to my MLS. And I'm going to go up here to this cool little thing that I have, which is called Stats. Oh, by the way, I might also put things in there like, this is a single story only community, or this is a gated community, or GAR gated. Being a zip code, there's so many variables. But if I was building the same format and I'm doing a community, I'm also going to look through here and go, okay, they're all single stories. And I'm going to look at that and see if they really are all single stories. And this is alphabetized, so they're not. I would have 2 stories in here too. Okay, are they as it gated? Yes or no? And then I might look for, is it zoned for horses? Does this community have casitas? And I can actually open the MLS listings and I can just kind of take a look if anything jumps out at me. Oh, community golf. I didn't know that. Let me go in there and put that this community offers community golf. So I would take this further if I'm doing with a much smaller area, and I'm actually going to open those MLS listings and look at what the neighborhood offers. What is the association offers? Is it age restricted? Is there a community pool? Is there an exercise room? And I'm going to list all those things if there is. I'm going to go further. Okay. So go to the MLS data here. And we're going to go to search. I'm going to go to stats. If you're in Vegas, you're welcome. If you didn't know this was here, I love this. Now, there's a whole bunch of reports that are created that I use when I do my real estate market reports. But for the sake of this page, all I do, I keep this simple. I go over here to customize, and I do a 5-year roll. So I'm going to do the past 5 years. I'm going to do average price range. You can do average or median. And I'm going to do list by year. Show it to me by year, right? And then I'm going to change this to 89134. Where's my zip code at? 89134. And I'm going to generate my report. Now I can save this as an image and put it in as an image, or I can put in the data, or I could do both. So if I want it to be an image, I am just going to screen capture this by drawing a little box around it. Now I'm going to go save this as a keyword. I'm actually going to export it because it's way too big to be putting on WordPress as it is typically. So I'm going to export this to my thumbnail folder, and I'm going to call this 89134 average home prices 5-year window. I'm going to change this to a JPEG, and I'm going to shrink it down a little bit because it doesn't need to be so big. Click Save. And then I'm also going to grab this in a data form, and I'm going to do it like this. Okay, so now I'm going to put this image in right here. I'm going to go to Add Media, Upload Files, Select Files, Thumbnails, 89134, Average Window. If you're overwhelmed already, don't forget in my Rank Like a Boss course, training course, I have all these little steps broken down smaller so you can learn them piece by piece by piece. Okay, and the alternate text for SEO, and this is also for anybody that would be visually impaired that can't see, or for whatever reason can't see the image and they have a reader telling them what's on the image. That's what this box is for. We're going to say chart showing 5-year window. This is a bar chart showing 5-year window with average price range of sold homes in 89134 for each year. Insert into showcase. Now I can make that big, I can make that small. In this particular case, I'm actually going to make it small because we're also going to paste in the data. So I'm going to do this. I'll let them, let me edit that. I'll let them link this. You know what? Let me first put it in full size so that it quality's good. There we go. Now let me see if I can. Okay, if they want to click on this, I'm going to let them attach to media file. So then when they click on it, they can look at it as in a big view. That also encourages more clicks on the page, which is positive. Okay. And then I'm going to paste, I'm going to put the average home price in 89134 was, where are we at? Let me get rid of this now. 334,870 was 334,870 at the end of 2017. This includes all residential sales, including single family residences and condos and townhomes. Enter down, and I'm going to paste in that graph. Oh, not like that. Hold on. Let me get rid of that. Command Z. Let me go try that one more time. I want that to be the wide. There it is. And then I'm going to say, I'm going to paste this in time frame and number of listings. Time frames from January, zip code is 89134. Results calculated for 4,565 listings. So in those 5 years, there were 4,565 MLS listings sold that equate to this report. Okay. And by the way, sellers love this stuff. If a seller is going to look at, consider selling their home, they're going to go look up market data, market reports, and average home prices. So this is a great tool to use. Now here, I'm going to put, you can see the entire Las Vegas real estate market data here. And I'm going to link this to my general Las Vegas real estate market report. It's about the whole area, month over month. Las Vegas real estate market report. And this is in a month. this month. There we go. Okay, add content block, horizontal divider. Now here's where you can also put in a call to action for instant home value. So you could put in, I use Short Codes Ultimate, and I save buttons and little things like little calls to action that I use frequently. So I could go in here now, and I'm going to grab my home value button. And so I'm going to scroll down, go to my presets, home value, what's your house worth? This is what it looks like. Okay, and I'm going to put that little button in there. Okay, so what am I missing? Let's see, schools, oh, neighborhoods. Okay, if there was a list of neighborhoods I wanted to include, I might put those at the bottom like this, like I did here, and put a link to the popular neighborhoods. Okay, I think I covered it all. Oh, we didn't put in an image. Oh yeah, we did. We put an image here. I would make sure there's at least one image on the page. There are correlation studies that show search engine, the pages that have at least one image rank higher than other pages that don't. I like to put an image sometimes up here like this. So I've already done an 89134 image. So let me show you. I'll go to add image, add media. If you have a brew, we're adding another content block for an image, by the way, so that you might already see that when you're watching this video. So I'm going to go to, oops, not thumbnails. I'm going to go to my media library, 89134. I know I already have this picture built, so I'm going to grab it here, paste this in here. Oh, there's no description. Large house has lights on and is against a dark sky at night. Banner reads 89134. Insert into showcase. Now this one I'm going to probably leave the whole width of the, because it's kind of like a header image, and I like mine to be a 1200 width. Again, this is why I'm putting in a new showcase block, so I don't have to do any of that sizing. All right, let's preview our page and see how we did here. Preview changes. Okay, so we've got our tables up here. We've got the showcase image, and you can make that smaller and put in the corner if you don't want it to be a huge up top. Here's our table of contents. Now I can tell I've got white space here that shouldn't be there, so let me just go fix that. So sometimes when I'm building this, I'll put in an extra break here, an extra space that shouldn't be there. So I am going to get rid of that because I don't want that extra space there. And I will move that table of contents around sometimes hold on. It's still there. Let me see something. Let me go to the text editor. No? Maybe it's on top here. That's weird. I don't see where that... Okay, I'll have to fix that after the fact. That'll drive me crazy. I don't want that white space there. Okay, so look on a mobile how pretty this is. Watch this. So you've got your picture up top, much, much smaller, obviously. Then you've got your text, and then you've got your, there should be no white space there. Then we have our table of contents, and then we have our listings. So if they click on this table of contents, it'll shoot them down the page to just where they want to go, to the average price ranges. And anytime when I preview this and I have heavy chunks of text, I'll go back in. I don't like the text to be chunky. So I'll go back in and I'll break up. I'll show you. Break up anything that's chunky. So, you know, more than 2 sentences together, I think is too much when you're looking at a cell phone. Your eyes, it's just that things don't flow as well when everything's too chunky like that. So I'll go back up and make sure that I have more spaces. Cannot for the life of me figure out why I'm getting that extra white space between there. That table of contents. I'll move that around. I'll move the table of contents around too to see where it might look better, or move the image around sometimes and go, okay, let me put this image in here. So I'll go, so this should be an image block. That's the thing we're adding. And instead, I'm just going to add a general content block and I'll paste it in here. Oops, visual editor. If you copy code, you have to paste it in the code section. If you copy under the visual tab, you have to paste it in the visual tab. Okay, so now let me look at it, preview. Now the picture is down there. Now the table of contents is down there. So we can kind of play with that. Actually, I can tell you how I want this. I'm going to do it real quick. So instead, I want to break up some of this text. So I'm going to move that picture up here. And I'm going to move some of this text. No, other way. I'm going to put that picture underneath. Hold on. There it goes. Underneath there. There we go. This will be better. And some of this is it's just whatever's pleasing to the eye that you feel. It's not necessarily that I have any proof that having that image up in that spot's better than this spot. Although I do use heat maps and scroll maps and measure clicks and all that, the image placement is more of an aesthetically pleasing kind of thing. Okay, so let's go look at where I just now moved it. Mine has to do with where these link boxes and tables of contents and stuff are. Ugh, it didn't work. Hold on. All right. We'll just look straight at the page. And I think we're about done. Now, you're going to see there are other things that I play with and add sometimes, and I'm not 100% sure if I covered everything. I think I did. You could put in an IDX map up here of properties if that's what you like. Yeah, that's better. I like that much better. You could put in information about the post office or the pizza place or whatever is popular in that area. You could put in, down here, I could put in another box and put in new homes for sale and put in a grid of like 3 houses because that's what's popular there. So when you look at all of my zip codes, you'll see sometimes, let's see, every now and then there will be something different that I might put on a zip code. So let's just check this one, 89106. So feel free to scroll through mine. Okay, so same thing. I have an intro, I have a picture, I have a table of contents, schools. So pretty much the same thing. So that's the majority of what you want to have on the page. If you want to go put extra things on there, you want to put a video on there, go crazy, go absolutely whatever you think is valuable. So here's the housing market, but this is the general idea of how you would create a zip code page or a community page really of any kind.